Welcome back to the TING Open second European group. We're going to find out which two players advanced through the group, and if you missed yesterday's matches, it was two Protoss, Mana and DNS, who got through. But also, guys, I gotta give some shout outs because we don't have subs to shout out. I'm gonna shout out the viewer regions when we get done with these intros. So, spawning in the top left side, of course, we have the red Zerg player, Snute. And he is back from Korea, for those who are unaware. He spent about a month training in the BaseTradeTV house in Korea, but he is back in his home now. Asked him how his trip was, his answer was long. In the bottom right, we've got the blue Terran player playing for Dead Pixels. It's Optimus. So today's regional dominance. We got United States coming in at number 1. 30% of the people tuning in are currently watching from the US, so good morning, America! Or afternoon, I guess, because it's technically East Coast, too. Then, following, we got 10% of our viewers currently tuning in from Germany, so Guten Tag, Germany! And I don't know how to say hello or good morning in any other language, so I'm just going to quickly point out that we got Canada, then Sweden, the United Kingdom, all coming around 4%. Russia, Poland, Australia hitting that 2%, France, and then everyone else too far below. I can't actually see it on the list. So thank you guys for tuning in this morning, and hello, no matter where you're from. Also, Serenity! Ooh, me! You can shout me out! Thank you for the 18-month resub. Glad to have you back. I guess if it was shouting out UK, I'd be like, oh, good tea time, governor. No, that's bad. I'm gonna stop right there. Cut it! Cut it! We'll do it live! Anyways, Optimus and Snute have actually had a very interesting pass together. Optimus has actually taken games off of Snute and made for a very interesting series, to the point where, like, I, at a time, thought, like, Optimus might be the guy who could beat Snute on the somewhat regular. However, Snute has just come back from training in Korea with specifically ZvT in mind. He went there looking to improve this matchup. Made a lot of sense. That's where all the Korean Terrans are. That's where the dominance of that race is. But there is a very, very distinct difference in the way European Terrans and Korean Terrans play. And a lot of this comes down to the choice of Widowmines versus tanks. Now, keep in mind, guys, Widowmines are still pretty garbage against Hydras, which are in the meta, and if Snute's just going for that outright, then fine by him. But generally speaking, we saw this with the show matches we held with, I think it was a Laser and Namshar and a couple others. A Laser, by the way, who, side note, had a phenomenal series versus Gumiho 2 times in TING Open. If you missed the Korean group, you absolutely must check it out. But, sorry, I'm on a tangent now. Optimus may be playing tanks, and that's not something Snute may or may not have had to deal with, because we're watching a lot of the Korean Terrans use a lot of Widowmines. And this caused a lot of problems for other Zerg players who went to Korea to train, but again, playstyles are very different, and we'll see what it's like for Optimus here. Because his choices may dictate the way Snute approaches the game, but ultimately for Snute, it's a pretty core composition. No matter what Optimus does, Hydras are likely on the menu. Now, this looks to be a bit of a fake out, I guess anticipating an Overlord drop, or maybe it's going to actually be a follow-up of a Banshee, I don't know. I don't imagine this would be the actual commitment, but Banshees do have a place in the matchup, especially because I believe, unless someone crazy saucy canceled it to go for that medevac. Elevatoring Hellions up to the main could be on the menu as well. Either way, for now, he's just trying to distract and poke down here. Downside is that means he doesn't have that much at home to defend, and in fact, with one Hellion going out to scout, Zerglings should catch this pretty much immediately. This is not a lot of Zerglings out of Snute, but it's more than enough to catch one of those Hellions should they have not been paying attention. In fact, 2 Zerglings distract 2 Hellions, allowing the rest of the Zerglings to get in the mineral line. Whether this kills workers or not, it still denied a lot of mining by pushing them off. This brought the Hellions back home, and I believe Snute saw that. He's definitely going to see it now.
Our forces are under attack.
It is the commitment to follow up Banshee, by the way. Despite the fact that Cloak looked a little bit weird and maybe even fake, medevac is revealed, I feel like, on purpose now. This is going to be kind of cool, guys. I like this. But Snute's still investing in Spore Crawlers, so this Banshee won't get that much done. The idea behind it, though, is brilliant, I feel. But Hellions are pushed off, and Snute has handled this pretty darn well so far. Optimus isn't in a lot of trouble based on what he's done. He's doing just fine back at home, too, but he's a little bit behind on workers. Not because of kills, but mostly just because he didn't have a fast third C. But yo, it's a double armory coming down after this, so we might just see Mechy Mech one way or the other. Banshee gets here to pick off the creep tumor or 2. Okay, that was definitely cloaked. Or stealth. What are camouflaged, I guess? What would creep tumors get classified as? You couldn't see them. I hesitate to call them cloaked. Cloaked, it doesn't feel right. But anyways, sorry, I digress. We got that Banshee trying to do something. Those Hellions got it back into the main. Pretty nice spot to sit, but unfortunately, do get dealt with. And that medevac is going to die too. Oh, feel sad. But with the factories finishing up, we'll see production pick up soon. This is kind of the problem with playing mech. You don't really have great production early on, even if you had the income for it, which he also does not. He'll deny the space. Let's pick up. Burrowed? I don't know that burrowed would count for creep tumors either, guys, because they're above ground. Unless maybe only the part we see is above ground. This is like, we get those burrowed ultralisks. Anyway, 7 workers die, a lot of lings get traded out. This is a better run by for Optimus, but still hardly falls into the category of good. This isn't really hurting Snute. Now, to mention this too, you know, Snoot's that guy, as soon as he's on 3 bases and he's got 70 drones, he's probably going to win the game from that point on. I know that even in his worst time feeling ZvT, or any matchup really, he always shined through in the macro game. That's kind of where we're heading. Optimus is treating this a little bit kind of like a Gumi style at a later timing though, which is neat, as 2 Thors and 2 medevacs are going to be dropping across the map. The aggressive way Gumio plays mech is one I really admire, because I think it's not only a lot of fun to watch, but I think it's really good too. At least better than your average mech builds. But unfortunately, these Hellions are just not doing enough damage to throw off the timing of Snute, and for Optimus this is kind of costly. He's throwing away a lot of money that could have been faster Thors, for example. But puts them in single target mode, so they flex them guns out, picks them up, starts flying across the map. Downside is though, I don't know if he's got enough Hellions to deal with the lings. If these are transformed into Hellbats, this might be a different story. New Hellions coming out, but a couple of SCVs are going to die. Thors, rather than go to the main, look like they want to cancel a 4th. But Snoot's kind of anticipated perhaps something like this happening, so he starts a 5th up pretty quickly too. So even if the 4th base dies, he does have a retreat path to fall back on. And, or vice versa, like the 5th base dies, well he's got a 4th, you know? Hydras come out, and early on, Thors are pretty good. Their base armor having been increased by 1 means Zerglings really don't do much damage to them. Get focus fire on top of Hydras, it only takes 2 shots to kill them, as we see. Hydras just don't have a lot of health. You have to focus fire them down, though. It's a little bit scary, but it gets them out alive. And if you repair these Thors up, again, they'll be good as new. Hellions going to be joining in on this as well. Hellions have a lot of bonus damage versus light units, so if you really want to wreck Hydras, a lot of Hellions can get the job done. Also, dropping the Thors like this, they do pop off single target mode, so they do bonus damage to single armored units in the air, which Overseers fall under the category of. Oh my god, 3 health on that medevac. 3 health. Oh, my heart's racing. But he gets it out alive for now? Question mark. Again, Hellions come in without Blue Flame and without Hellbat mode, so it's kind of difficult to trade out here. But in all things considered, the resources lost are looking fairly even. It's been 21 Hellions for 58 Zerglings, a couple of drones paired with that. Got some folks in chat saying they're really not familiar with Optimus. This guy really is not the next awesome Terran player, but he could be, is the thing. Optimus has played against Snute several times. We've cast her on BaseTradeTV as well. Not enough for me to say there's an outright rivalry amongst the two of them, but he is talented enough to take games off of Snute and not make series look so one-sided. When he plays against Snute, we don't really see 3-0s or anything like that. And when we do, they're usually much closer games. Snute, by the way, knows what's going on. We do have Swarm Hosts coming out. This might be okay. It's kind of hard to describe because we don't see that many mech games anymore, or often enough for me to just be like, yeah, you guys saw this last week when Gumiho did it. But Blue Flame is a really good way to deal with Locusts. It's not so much that like they're going to do some damage. Excuse me. Unlike a Broodlord, though, that does damage on impact, the Locusts do not. They only do damage with their auto attacks. And if you are washing them off with several Blue Flame Hellions and Hellbats sitting on top of the army waiting for them, the Locusts only get like 1 or 2 shots. So for now, Blue Flame or otherwise, this first wave might hurt. Oh, especially because the Hellbat's only just transforming. Oh, that's bad. If he was more ready for this could have been very different. The tanks do set up, and the Thors come in to defend this. Thor drops, by the way, might be the only speedy thing's fast enough to catch said Swarm Host, even off crate to move really quick. But Bailey's coming in now to deal with the Hellions. He's got to pull back once again. Swarm Hosts are useless for another 30 seconds when they went on the cooldown for the Locusts to come back up and be available. So these Hydras are perhaps a little exposed. A couple of waves of Locusts coming in. Thor's deciding which mode they want to be in. It's kind of a tough pick. If you're in the transformation for anti-air and bonus versus light damage, you'll take out a lot of health from the Locusts. But later on, when the game progresses a bit further, you're going to need Thors in their single target mode so they can better pick off things like Vipers. Now, if you've got the Viking count for it, that's not an issue. But as we see here, he's going to be bleeding quite a bit of damage leading up to that point. And he's trying to surround the units in a very specific way. I love that pickup on that Thor. That was such a sick bait. Because again, as we're witnessing, the Locusts get washed off by the blue flame very quickly. If you remove the Locusts from play, then they're not the issue that they always end up looking like they are. Oh, base over here might go down. Snute gets on top of this. It's not a planetary. It's not lifting. In fact, he starts it up only for it to die. Ooh, that's going to really sting for Optimus. Optimus does get some blue flame helmets across the map. Goes for a bit of a drop. Spinecrawl getting transfused by that Cleano keeps it alive, and he's just going to tap out. Having not done enough damage, he didn't want to play 40 minutes versus the Locust. Not a bad choice. Snute takes game number 1. But okay, what was map 2? Abyssal Reef. Did we see Abyssal Reef in the last series? I just realized Bly and Hearthstone may have had like the least typical map pool of all time. Snute and Optimus. But yo, thank you guys for joining me here for the solo YOLO cast. I really appreciate you guys bombing my morning. We started off the day pretty well with about 12 new subscribers. $3 in tips, I'll take it. And we're only the second best of 5 in. I'm not expecting anything like yesterday. Yesterday we blew up on subs. Like, I just, at this point, statistically don't think there's enough people left to sub. But I will make the quick call to remind you guys to check your Prime subs, see if they're up and available every 30 days, yada, yada, yada. It's the losers match first. And they're both saying they're ready. So let's get under the sea. Let's get funky. See you guys here in game. Well, welcome back, folks. Game number 2 in this best of 5. Remember, this is still just the preliminary parts of the series, so we are going to actually see a winner's match and a loser's match afterwards. But winning game 1 and being off to a good start to the top left is going to be none other than Team Liquid's Snute. With his opponent in the bottom right, the Orange Terran Optimus. I don't actually think Optimus did a whole heck of a lot of things wrong that game. I think the problem is, though, you're doing all of these things right against somebody like Snute, who just, seriously, infallible defense. Part of this is going to be... Ooh, there's that bit sound. Part of this is going to be because Snute's just really good. He goes for a lot of queens. He can't be touched in the early game. He's got really good game sense and game knowledge, so he knows where to be. But the other part of it is that it's kind of also because it's mech. Mech is not exactly an amazingly auto-win build like, say, Mass Oracles. But, yo, thank you very much to Tommy223493. 100 bits coming in, and also Legacies comes in with a Twitch Prime sub. Glad to have you on board. Also, I do believe that makes Tommy, yep, the bit boss. So Tommy, you might not know what this means, dude, but type ! boss glory, one word in chat. You're gonna get some cool extra loot because you're the bit boss. And if you want to be really mean, if it's off cooldown, you can boss tax everybody too, but don't tell them I told you to do it. Oh, shoot, I forgot. Between games, I was going to show off the Kappa card things I got. Yo, I see 47S in chat. I don't know if you saw the video I tweeted out last night, man, but I'm really happy with the way the cards came out, minus the fact that I'm an idiot and don't know how to put things right side up. But I want to show this off after this game, I think, before we do commercials or anything like that. So try not to let me forget, chat. Oh, but Jim Sock. He dives to that grenade. He says, "Don't boss tax me." Even before he boss taxes everyone else. Thank you for the 100 bits, Jim Sock and Kojaxiel. Thank you for that Twitch Prime sub. I'm loving seeing all these Prime subs, guys. It means more people are watching with Twitch Prime, which means advertisers, beware, no commercials for most of our viewers. But more on the ad-free viewing aspect of that later. Reaper comes out of the base at a pretty unfortunate time, so these Zerglings may sneak in here. Nah, they're not going to get canceled on the command center, though. I take that back. So, not perfectly timed here. Abyssal Reef's probably like the most standard map in the map pool, guys. There's really not a lot to speak on for it. There's a couple of spots tanks can abuse pretty nicely if Optimus wants to go for that kind of a push. He did show mech last game, and I'm not saying he'll do it every single game of the series, but if he's willing to, I'd be happy. Either way, Tech Lab for the starport, maybe leading into some Cloak. Although, last game Cloak ended up being kind of disappointing, so I really like the Ravens much more. The Raven's going to, of course, allow him to just sit back there throwing auto turrets for the rest of the game. And these Hellions and Reaper distract him for now. If they can actually kill this Queen, that'd be very nice. He's pretty far off a creep. Although Optimus is kind of helping him push in a bit quicker. There we go. Oh, man. But these units stand undivided, just like Mr. 69. Thank you for that Twitch Prime sub, Undivided 69. And then, I'm trying to think of a pun for Cannel. He's going to put these queens back in the kennel. I failed you. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Cannel 436346 for that sub. And welcome to the Base Trade Brigade, guys. We talked about this yesterday too, but just a quick note, if you don't already know, we send replay packs from all the tournaments we cast to our subscribers. People were surprised to hear this yesterday, and got some awfully nice thank yous. Oh, but hold the phone. Talk about that more in a moment. Has to cancel the command center. That's going to be a pain in the butt. Hellions should be able to deal with these Zerglings. I don't think they'll get too out of hand. Maybe pick up another kill. Looks like they got one. But starts this command center up again. For Optimus, putting this as part of the wall is not too bad of a move. It's not that Snute's gearing up to all in him or anything, but just having a solid wall up is always going to be good. I'm just surprised he just didn't do like 3 depots this way, though, and then let the Hellions peruse the right side, or vice versa. Either way, guys, we are going to see mech again, and I'm super excited. This might not have worked so hot in the last game, but I've got a lot of faith in watching mech work, especially when done correctly. Either way, this is already netting a lot more kills than the previous game. Up to 10 workers killed from these Hellions. We got subs on subs coming in when this happens, too. I'm going to Subway later, guys. But, yo, these Hellions, 10 kills, looking for a couple more. A lot of these drones in the main, spiced up, low, orange, red, you name it, bell peppers. 13, 14. Can they get another? Nah. But more Hellions coming on down here. These first couple from earlier with that Reaper might poke in. Snute taking some pretty nice early game damage from Optimus. Nice lineup too on this. Oh, that attack was beautiful. Okay, brings it up to 18. That count goes on. So we have like another one. As auto turrets got on over to the natural base too. So Snute was pulled off mining. And let's take a look at that income graph, guys. Because this, auto turret in the main also pushes off mining. Ooh, bringing Optimus. Like Snute was up here. Like, this is what I love. Snute was literally up here winning the income war. He had so much money going for him. Then the attack starts, and the Hellions hit, and then the Raven hits, and it just gets worse and worse. More Hellions on the way to... Oh, no. Yo, Europe Shorty says, let's not get crazy. Mr. Sub is better than Subway. Can we get a ban on Europe Shorty in chat, please? He's insulting my food waifu, Subway, and I will not accept it. I'll do it myself, I swear to God. I'll tab out of this game and ban him right now. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, Subway's amazing. Sponsor us, please. Actually, Subway would be very foolish to sponsor us because of the amount of time I spent talking about Subway for free. Why pay him? Hellions, by the way, getting another good chunk of these drone kills. As I kind of mentioned before, Snute is a guy who, when he gets to 70 drones, he's sitting on 4 bases. That's his sweet spot. By Optimus causing all of this harass, you'll note Snute has not been doubling down into more queens and more zerglings. He's been doubling down into replacing the drones to get into that hive tech, to try and bandage and bridge the damage he's taken. Oh, you're off of gas by 1, Snute. You're not perfect. What'd you spend all that time in Korea for? But in all seriousness, this makes things like the Thor follow-ups a lot more deadly. Last time they hit at a pretty good time, and they barely traded out. Got some Hydras, distracted some Zerglings. This time around, they're going to be heading across the map pretty quick, and maybe this will be that sweet spot that Snute wasn't ready for last time. Accompanied by Hellions, which were, by the way, destroyed. In Game 1, Snute took care of all the Hellions, so when the Thors hit, it was just the Thors. But thank you, War Chef, as well as Smile. It's a game. The 9-month resub. New sub and a resub. It's like New Year's, baby. They're gonna focus on the hatchery and take these down pretty quick. Crosabal's also looking to land on him. Crosabal is armor piercing. Oh, so he's gotta be careful. Oh my god, that medevac already almost dies. Optimus has a good setup, but perhaps could be ruined by bad control. Raven in the main looks like it did die to the Spore Crawler / Queens. Hellions getting a couple of drone kills, but the Thors did not get to wombo combo this. I mean, at the very least, that hatchery, or excuse me, the Overlord will die. He still might be able to get the hatchery. He Wang jangles his way back in there. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I watched like 40 You Suck at Cooking videos last night. I'm gonna be saying Wang jangle for a while, so if you don't like the phrase, just get used to it. I'm sorry. But man, there's been so much going on in this game. I guess I thought the Raven got picked off, and maybe it just flew on over this way, or there was a second Raven. Let's double check. Second Raven did get picked off. 11 kills on this one's not bad. Snute is finally up to that 76 worker count, looking for maybe 80, but more importantly, he's gotten a hive. So now he's got things like Vipers on the way. This is going to start abducting those medevacs, grabbing those Thors in, and make life kind of hellish for Optimus. But Optimus has done a lot of good with these Hellions early on. My fear is that he feels like he did really good, like too good, to the point where he wants to overinvest in these run-bys. And for now, this might not be the best option. He doesn't know whether it's going to be Swarm Hosts with Locusts or Vipers. In fact, he never got to the... No, he did actually confirm it. That's right. Before that second Raven died, he did see that it was a hive, so I take that back. He's probably right about that idea about these Vipers, so that's why the Viking production is kicked up in such a big way. Rifkin, you need to go binging with Babish. Yo, you think I didn't watch him make like the Bob's burgers and stuff, man? Come on. I spend all my time on YouTube. If I'm not watching YouTube drama, I'm watching primitive technology, and if I'm not watching primitive technology, I'm watching food channels, boys. But anyways, we'll talk more about my YouTube things later. Because of course, the Thors are looking for some damage. If this planetary completes, holding the attack that's right here will be a breeze. A couple of tanks set up for a siege. Hellions will keep Zerglings from getting on top of them. And yeah, these Thors now can look to try and do some serious damage. Downside is, though, having not killed this hatchery did not put a stint in Snute's economy. The Raven's been continuing its auto-harass, but really this thing at some point is going to get old and boring for Snute, and he'll start abducting it in. And, oh, I did not realize how low all of this tech was. I'm guessing this is just residual auto-turret damage. The single target... That looks really weird. I'm not sure if they abducted the Thors and grabbed the medevacs with them, or if they abducted the medevacs and grabbed the Thors with them. Either way, he's got to unload one. Nope, got to unload two. Not going to happen. Both of them get shut down. I was going to say, though, if Snute didn't respond to this immediately, because these were all at half health, these Thors could have very quickly taken out the infestation pit and otherwise. But Optimus doesn't actually have enough tanks, I don't feel, and if he does, they're not even that well spread out. So the concern is I don't know if he'll deal with the Hydras. Blue Flame Hellions are dealing better with the Hydras than anything else right now. Also, those parasitic bombs look deadly and dangerous, and they should. Keep in mind, though, one parasitic bomb cannot kill a Viking. You will need several. So splitting like that was absolutely essential. Meanwhile, multiple Blue Flame Hellions hit multiple bases, and of course, Blue Flame makes us only take 2 shots to kill the drones. They get roasted and toasted real quick, and this quickly gets out of hand. Snute, who had thought, oh, it's just a couple of Hellions, I'll deal with it when I deal with it, has lost 23 drones to this run by. 70 overall in this game. Snute's still in a fantastic spot, and I really like the fact that he's moving on to Broodlords, but the fact that Optimus was even able to get in there and have 4 Hellions do that much damage split across 2 bases is shocking. Now the auto turret comes back for this base too. God, this thing's got to be so annoying for poor Snute, sitting here on 16 kills total through these auto turrets. This has bought Optimus a lot of time and some good distraction too. He's finally maxed out. He's got a really good blue flame army. He's trying to bait him back to fight into the tanks. This is where those Vikings need to be sniping off those Vipers. If the Vikings can one-shot the Vipers, and I think he's got enough to do just that. Actually, he doesn't have upgrades, so I'm not sure if he does. But anyways, if he can take out the Vipers and he doesn't let Blinding Clouds go on top of the tanks, there's no way for Snute to engage with the Blinding Clouds. Do land on top of the tanks. Abduct's going in to bring them out of the Blinding Clouds. That's a little counterintuitive. But Corrosive Biles land on a good section of them. However, the rest of the army is still clumped up, so when the tanks come out of their Blinding Clouds, they annihilate Snute's army. Roaches and Hydras die, and while all of this went on, Blue Flame Alien snuck in once again, and Snute loses another 24 drones on his third base. But that's not it. He's not done. He's looking for more. He's hungry for blood. He's had a taste, and he wants more. Optimus ends up getting a lot of worker damage done on the back end of this. Normally, Snute would be sitting here with like a 6k mineral bank, 3k gas bank. You're just making Terran look ridiculous while you accrue all these minerals, but Snute does not have that advantage from having lost so many workers. In fact, that should put us over 100. 107 workers killed this game, baby! And this really obnoxious Raven has been responsible for 20 of those. A fifth of the workers killed this game, guys. While this goes on, though, for Snute, his tech is good, right? Vipers are still coming out. We got a couple of Broodlords in play, but having lost the initial 5 or 4, that was costly. Snute's got a gas bank, so Vipers aren't his problem. It's the mineral bank, and the mineral units are his problem. And oh no! Optimus with these blue flame hellions is so sick. I don't know how he keeps getting in here. Part of me's also screaming at Snute like, dude, make an Evo chamber, build a spine crawler, just anything to block him out of the base. But another 10 drones. Fry. Fry rhymes with die. And 117 total this game. Amazingly enough, though, Snute's still trying to stick in this, and I actually believe he can. The thing for Optimus was, as great as that engagement was, you know, he took out all those Hydras and the Ravagers exploded, and it looked glorious if you're a Terran player. It also did kill most of his own army. He lost a lot of tanks, quite a few Vikings. That exchange was pretty back and forth. By the way, if you guys don't know, Blue Flame Hellions do pretty good against Hydras when they get to hit and run them correctly. So maybe pair up an auto turret or two with or a point defense drone even. This Raven though is just kind of chilling. It's got energy, can't do a lot right now. Rifkin, come on, man. Snute was super far behind. So here's the thing. I think average Zerg player in this position is super far behind. And I'm not saying Snute's winning this game, guys. Don't get me wrong. But it's Snute. It's Snute past the 10-minute mark. This guy has like extra passive hidden bonuses most players don't have. This actually deals with the Hellion run by very nicely, but unfortunately gives up that positioning on the front line. Keep in mind too, for these Broodlords, even if it's not for the Vikings, Thors can shoot them out of the sky, so these Vipers are essential for things like Abducts, Blinding Clouds, Parasitic Bombs, you name it. I just don't think Snute's got the army to take on the siege tanks. If he can bait Optimus to fight outside of the siege tanks, like abducting the Thors forward, that might not go too badly for him, but the Vikings kill the Vipers upon doing so, and killing the Thors alone isn't necessarily worth it. He tried to go for the blinding combo too to keep the tanks from firing, but he didn't kill the Thors that he abducted. This is looking pretty bad for Snute. Army supply still holds up, don't get me wrong guys, maybe one good fight if Optimus throws, but this is for Snute's a very dangerous situation. He's got that Infestor full energy, but no Neuroparasite, so it's only going to be Fungals or Infested Terrans. I think he wants to fungal the Viking Clump. If he gets it here, it'd be really sweet. It's a huge cluster from him, but he's looking at these Thors. Maybe Infested Terrans on top of this too. Yes, soaking some of the tank shots. He pushes on in. Are Hydra's going to be enough? I'm thinking no freaking way. Vikings land on the ground. There's the tap out. Ladies and gentlemen, it came down to the wire with a fight, and resources lost was pretty tight at the end too. Look at that. But ultimately, Optimus will tie up this series 1-1. Whew. All right, I want to show off these Kappa cards. We're gonna do this real quick. So I was so excited about ordering these guys. So I ordered some for myself and for Zombie Grub. So to be clear, we weren't cool enough to get like official Kappa cards from Twitch, so that's not what these are. But these are like our own versions of Kappa cards. I mean, get out of the package, Jesus. That's what she said. All right, to be clear, you're dealing with me playing show and tell instead of watching commercials. So I hope you guys can appreciate that. I do have to still host the lobby though. Mech Depot. Where is this? All right. So here's the front of the cards. By the way, again, big shout out to 47ers. Not only did he design and draw this and gets all the credit for how freaking good it looks. Oh, where's Optimus here? He gave us permission to use these for the cards and even sized them up. So I had to edit it slightly and make it fit, but here it is. It's, again, the size of a postcard. It's a little bit bigger than like a playing card or something like that for sure. But the idea is that, you know, we've had a lot of fans come up to us at events and they want us to sign stuff, but they don't have anything. So they ask us to sign like their hat or like a random like page in their book and stuff. One sec, guys. So this would be kind of cool because we can actually give these out to people. Be like, hey, yeah, take one. Because here's the other part that's really cool. On the back side are unique backs. One for Zombie Grub. Whoops. One for Zombie Grub. One for me. Now, of course, this is just basic stuff. Like it's got our Twitters and our Twitches and all that. But also, again, these unique sort of cool card designs that make it look like us. I actually spent several hours designing these. I got some input. I know these aren't like maybe the best looking things in the world, but I'm proud of them, goddammit. So again, the front by 47, this looks phenomenal. I have no comments other than that. It just looks so freaking good. And then the back side, you can collect mine and Zombie Grub. So if you see us at TwitchCon, you see us at BlizzCon, we've got about 100 or so to possibly give out. But let me just make sure the players are ready. And we'll get into Mech Depot. Waiting on Snute. Alright, see you guys here in game. Alright, folks, it's game number 3. Things have been tied up 1-1. Spawning here on the bottom left side, it's going to be the blue Zerg player, Snute. With his opponent playing mech, but not anymore. It's Optimus. 1, 2, 3. 3 SCVs leaving the base. Also, yo, my boy Diesel Max Power. This guy's been watching hella ads to get bits so that he can claim title of Bit Boss. 100 bits for figuring out sound. Poor Zombie Grub. Thank you very much, Diesel Max Power. I'm really glad you guys like these cards, though. I was kind of worried people would be like, no, these look really stupid, they're lame. I think they're really sick, and I'm very excited to give them out. So again, people say they want both. Yeah, absolutely. Again, find myself, find Zombie Grub. I'll probably be carrying a stack or so with me every single day. So I ordered these specifically to give them away. So please don't be shy about asking for one if you see us. Just literally be, hey guys, it's nice to meet you. Hey, by the way, you know, you got one of those cool card things? Like, absolutely, we'll give those to you, man. But recently we have actually seen this work. I'm rubbing my temples because normally this 4 racks looks like a really bad joke, and we've spent literally months making fun of how inefficient it looks. But it's one of those things where, like, if Snute doesn't see this coming till it's too late, this could just be a very gross blitzy move that catches him off guard. And 4 racks in it up. We got the depot coming on over here, guys. This is how dedicated it is. He's not even going to try and wall off. There's like no semblance of an attempt to wall off. Snoot's not really a player who sends a lot of lings over the map, so I don't know. I feel like when you've got the patrol point out here, you see this coming, all you really have to do is stop the bunker from going down. There's also something to be said about this map I don't like doing this for. Mech Depot has a really shallow natural, so as we can see, he already has creep spread plenty enough here that there's not going to be a bunker up. There's no place to actually build it, and he still has not seen this coming. That being said, first 6 Marines coming on in. Oh, he's gonna get an Overlord kill right off the bat. That's pretty nasty. Now, if you guys watched the AI tournament we cast recently, basically what's gonna happen here is Orange Terran's gonna turn around and leave now and go home for no reason. I hated that AI tournament so much, guys. I got so mad. I lost my voice yelling at how angry that thing made me. But yo, kiting around the best you can, stutter stepping. This is pretty gross, and it does catch Snute off guard, and it's costing him a lot. This was 12 drones dead. He's trying to cut off the reinforcing Marines. I love this. Trying to fight the cluster of Marines is just suicidal, but cutting off 1 or 2 at a time, totally possible. But he put every single drone. This actually works. What? Optimus takes a lead now in the series 2-1. Ace OMG, what the fuck? I guess the whole time Snute was in Korea, he's busy playing macro, and he's just like forgotten about these downright dirty and stupid builds. Maybe? I don't know, but either way, like I said, guys, Optimus can take games off of Snute. That's why I was so stoked for this series. But we're gonna go to a quick commercial break since game number 4 is coming up. Might be the last one of the series. I'll see you guys soon. Oh man, we got some good sounding noises coming in. Let me replay those as we get into these intros. Do the intros first, however, because this guy's up 2-1 right now. It is the Orange Terran Optimus, with his opponent down to the south, the Red Zerg player, Team Liquid Snute. But first off, we had Ricky D come in with some beautiful sounding bits. Let's get those. Let's get those. Oh, delay. Give it a sec. Hang on. Come on. Do it. There we go. Thank you, Ricky D, for the 500 bitty bits. Just keep up the good work. I appreciate that, dude. And then an even better sounding sound from Jimmy25. $7 to say those cards look amazing. I'll take a box each. Tommy as well throwing in some honey bits. Thank you guys so very much. As far as these cards go, maybe we'll eventually sell them if they don't we can't give them away or something, or maybe we'll mail them out to subs. We don't actually, the thing about BaseTradeTV that's kind of interesting is we don't really have a lot of merch going for us. Maybe this is something I should work on, but right now we don't really have anything for sale. Most of the stuff we have, I want to give away. It's like a big thank you to the fans. Like, hey, dude, take this awesome card. And in fact, Jibby, like, if I do have any left over after TwitchCon, BlizzCon, you'll be the first guy I hit up. I'll mail you one of these, no problem, dude. But yeah, I love being able to make things like this. The coolest things we made of all time, though, were definitely those Hell It's About Time playing card sets. I wish we had more, I guess, artistic skill to do more of those. That would be cool to see, too. Mr. Kingbox says, I want some merch, homie. Or I want a shirt, homie. Yeah, so when Teespring campaigns ended, I guess we had the option of starting this new Amazon merch store. Like, if you guys haven't seen the announcements of it, Amazon is now selling directly with partners on Twitch, so you don't have to go through, like, third parties or whatever, I think. But the weird thing is, the place I moved to and the place that the BaseTradeTV Incorporated business is registered to is not recognized by Amazon because it's still so new. So I can't set up a store, and I've been trying to talk to them about it, and I don't know how to do it, guys. So our store options are kind of non-existent right now. But anyway, squashing these first couple of Zerglings, not going to be too bothered trying to get his command center up. A little bit annoying, but not the end of the world. Snute also getting a very nice scout of the main base, seeing timings on things like the reactor, noting that there's no tech lab for the starport. Oh, this dirty Zergling. This dirty, annoying Zergling. The first Zergling did nothing, but it did coax out the Reaper into a false sense of security, so he goes across the map. And of course, another SCV dies. That ends up being a pretty nice way for Snute to make those two Zerglings worthwhile. They don't stop the command center by any means, but still killing an SCV is nice. I want a new collectible Partouf for each year of subscribing. Yeah, that's something we've considered too, but guys, to make these coins, you have to order them in bulk, which means you're spending like hundreds of, possibly thousands of dollars, depending on how much we're ordering. And we still have like over 500 coins from the initial batch, mix and match with the 2016, 2017, whatever versions. So I want to make more cool stuff. It's just expensive unless you get a whole heck of a lot of it. I will tell you this much though, the one thing we are working towards, if you guys haven't been paying attention to like our discussions on Twitter, is we are making BaseTradeTV jerseys. We got our first prototype. I haven't shown it on stream or anything yet because I'm still waiting to get the second prototype in from the other manufacturers. We're going to compare which one looks better, which one feels better, which quality is better, and those at least we're going to try and get some of to sell because I think jerseys are super heckin' cool. But yo, more on that later. We got a lot of Zerglings coming across the map. Optimus's wall goes up, but this looks like too much deja vu. Snoot's going to get a good cancel. Almost gets the kill, actually. Very, very close on time in there for Optimus. But Optimus, just like previous games, is going to be looking to get some Raven harass. Ooh, nice pick up on the Reaper there. And some Hellion drops. Ooh, these hit the main, but Snute, I believe, saw that with his South Overlord, so the Zerglings are rushing back home. But a little bit too slow, so the first 2 drones go down and the rest get pulled away. This is the danger of pulling away, though. You start lining up when that happens. Medevac's also looking to try and make sure these Hellions don't all die for nothing. Oh, but it's getting targeted by the Queens, so Green ends up costing his Hellions. 6 workers die, and this is not worth it for Optimus. You know, there was so much just beautiful Hellion harass that last game. Like, if you're a Terran player, you dream of getting the type of drone kills Optimus got. It doesn't happen often, but it can snowball. Unfortunately, this first attack being shut down so easily by Snute, no, it's not game ending, but it is going to end the harass. Now he can focus over here. He's going to attack on his opponent's wall. Optimus actually has to come back home to defend, realizing this might be too many Zerglings. He actually kills the SCV, building the command center. Well, he's not going to cancel the command center. This still delays Optimus's third significantly, because this is, of course, the second one that had to be built. First one was canceled. Oh, you're right. Not last game. Thank you guys in chat for correcting me, because the last game was so quick. I forgot. I forgot what it was. I was thinking about that long mech game still. Last game was like 4 minutes. The end. But yeah, that of course was what put Optimus ahead in the series. Now, again, keep in mind, guys, this is still the preliminary match of the groups. If you're just joining us for whatever reason, we do have a winners match with Hearthstone lined up and good to go. A losers match with Bly. So the winner of this will go on to fight against Hearthstone, and the loser will go on to fight against Bly. The order in which we do the series, of course, is losers, winners, and then finals. So again, 3 best of 5 still coming. Looks like this auto trick got really annoying. Still another 3 drone kills. But I don't mean to say that in terms of, like, I think the series is over. I don't think Snute's down and out or anything just yet. This game's still shaping up. But Snute, I would actually say, is in a pretty nice spot. This goes right back to the fact that, you know, he's on 3 bases. It's 70 drones. I've got these benchmarks for certain players. Like, I know certain players play better on certain supplies than others. And I think Snute, again, for me, 70 drones, 3 bases, that's his jam. Once he hits that number, he's, like, borderline unstoppable. One thing I don't really like, though, that I almost wish we'd see Optimus take advantage of, is the way Snute does do his SimCity in the main. You know, he clusters all the buildings together. This makes it really dangerous, because if, like, 2 Thors drop over here, Zerglings can't surround it. Queens and Roaches don't deal that much damage to them. I don't know. I can just see it something getting, like, out of hand, but it hasn't yet, and it hasn't hurt him, so if it's not broken, don't fix it. I just look at it with caution. While this goes on, upgrades are being prioritized here for Optimus instead of aggression, so we don't actually have double Thor drops coming out this game. Instead, it's a Liberator and some pretty good defense around his third. I guess the early attacks really threw him off for this. Thors are coming out now. And I think between the tanks and these Hellions, not to mention those Cyclones, these Roaches should be pretty bunk. Hydra's coming in from a couple of different directions. So this Liberator will not live for very long, unfortunately. He'll pick up about 3 drone kills. Goes down, not too efficient. 4th base is halfway finished, and Optimus is probably thinking about a quick planetary up here if he can pull that off. Blue Flame on the way. A lot of Queens, good defense, great creep spread. But still, things like Liberators slipping in, getting kills. Auto turret grabbing another 2 or 3. It's not been devastating by any means. 21 workers, and Snute's been able to maintain that 70-ish count this whole time. It's also popping out those swarm hosts pretty quick. You know, he got to Hive a lot faster than I expected, but didn't, you know, he didn't go for an Ultros Cavern, he didn't start a Greater Spire. I really was wondering what it was for, and as it turns out, just for Vipers. That's totally fine. He's got Roach Hydra pairing up with 9-something swarm hosts. Throw in a Blinding Cloud or 2 to that mix. Oh boy, you got yourself an anti-mech cocktail. The infamous Rifkin-nitis. Yo, are we showing clips from the caster tournament? Can we pretend like that was the only game I played so it looks like I won? Because I lost pretty miserably in that tournament, guys. Ooh, Hydras do get caught out a little bit. Doesn't want to lose too many of those. I love this. Snute is learning and adapting, and I think these spine crawlers are brilliant. Even if they are not going to deal with Hellions all that well if they turn into Hellbats, they will thwart off things like auto turrets, which has been a problem. Excuse me, this is my early game yawn and stretch coming out. Ooh. 16 workers dead in total so far. Snoot's still sitting at a comfortable 62, and we're going to see Locust chase off these SCVs. Of course, if he doesn't lift right away, the command center is always in danger too. Income's just been jumping around all over the place this time, guys, so it's not really been too one-sided. But, oh, yo, he catches the tanks off guard, but everything put back to deal with the Locust. Really smart moves and slick moves out of Snute, who does have creep spread all the way deep into Optimus's planetary. Snute, he's got more of these swarm houses to get to go, even though this is a planetary. It's kind of in a precarious spot. The Vikings don't quite cover this. This can go over the wall pretty easily. Planetary cannot lift like an orbital, so if he focuses it, it very well may die. He's microing them though. Oh, this is beautiful. So Snute didn't auto-set those in. He actually had to micro the Locust to bring them over the planetary straight to the siege tanks, and he picks off those tanks. And doing so opens the door for the Hydras to get in here, picks off one of the Thors. Thors are good, but very, very expensive. Another tank goes down too. This cost Snute a lot of his army, but I gotta say, I feel this was worth it. Optimus's production is not in a sweet spot right now. He doesn't have the ability to mass produce a bunch of tanks and Thors. Just a couple attack labs here and there. So more factories are coming down, realizing this necessity, as he will be bleeding out units. Now this time, these guys have no problem landing. They're gonna be looking for that planetary fortress attack. It's not gonna do that much. Maybe better off focusing SCVs. I don't know. Either way, Snoot's actually up to a pretty large amount of swarm hosts. 19. It started at 9, but he's going to keep using this the best he can. And the best thing about this is I love he's got them staggered. The biggest drawback to the swarm host is it's got a 40-something second cooldown, I think. Was it 43? 43? Yo, nailed it. 43-second cooldown on its Locust wave. So the worst thing you can ever feel is like using them and then having nothing for the next minute in the game. He goes for a really big attack like this and doesn't stagger them because he is just going for a straight up attack to fall back on afterwards. But like earlier when he floated them over the orbital and stuff, you saw him intentionally staggering the waves. And I really, really got to respect people who know that level of control. Snoot's got chitinous plating too. A couple of ultras are a very interesting choice for this scenario. Thors will tear through ultras. Thors don't care about ultralisk plating whatsoever. Those won't be a problem. Swarm hosts are still going to continue to be an issue. Those they wrap around north side. They are in the range of some of the tanks, but even with tank fire included, this may friendly fire a lot of the SCVs down, as we see. Yeah, he's probably killing more of the SCVs than the Locusts are. Coming from the south side, though, Ultralisk soaks a lot of those hits, allowing the Hydras to get on the front line, but pulling back very quickly. This planetary has provided a very great point of defense for Optimus. Snute never really willing to fully commit to that as long as it's in play. Of course, what do you do as a Terran player when you're ahead in minerals? You get more ahead. Put in more command centers. Hellion Run By is kind of shut down. This gets still some more drone kills. Locusts, uh-oh, these are all the new command centers he's building. Has to cancel them. That's a lot of lost time. That's gonna suck. But Hellions did rack up a few drones with this one on. In fact, grand total kills back and forth trading now. As he continues to send Locusts on top of the planetary, the dangerous siege tanks once again killing his own SCV. So while Snute is not racking up the worker kill count for it, Optimus is racking up the worker loss tab. Again, I love these spine crawlers. These have absolutely been worth it this game. I think these are a big part of why Snute doesn't have massive losses, but continuing to run around the sides on creep. Tanks are not sieged up. This is either good or bad depending on your point of view, because he does surround the unsieged tanks and catches them. The other tanks also getting caught by the Ultras and the Hydras pushing in. Queens with a lot of transfuses going into this. There's so many Vikings in the sky. Optimus is missing a lot of necessary ground supply. However, this planetary this time around might not be enough to stop it. There's a huge repair going down on top of this, however. Hydras are wasting a lot of shots on that planetary. Ultra goes down, and Snute may have to fix it. It does get the base. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was going to happen. He could pull back from this and sacrifice the Queens. Round 2 of the Locusts coming on top of the remaining tanks, and Optimus's army gets wiped out. GG. Well played, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to the ace match. Ooh. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. What is this? BaseTradeTV got Ting open on my stream till finish. I don't know what that means. But cool, I guess? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting into the last map of the series here in just a moment. Going to pump off to a small break. No, are we? Hang on. No, it looks like players are good to go. Losers match. No, excuse me. We are going to a small break. All right, guys, sit tight. I'll see you soon. All right, it's game number 5. What anime is this? It's Acolyte, baby. Spawning here in the upper right side of the map, we got the blue Zerg. It's none other than Team Liquid Snute. And to the bottom side, the orange Terran Optimus, who has brought this to a game number 5. Things tied up now 2-2. Also, who is this? Chog McChog, or Chog MC the Hog. I don't know which one you want to be. I think the second one sounds cooler, but Chog McChog, MC Hog, whatever you want to be. Thank you so much for that sub. Coming in with some Twitch Prime action. Of course, quick call to action for you guys to check your Prime subs. See if they are available, because of course, once every 30 days, Twitch Prime does, of course, refresh, but does not auto-renew, and it doesn't tell you either, because hashtag scumbag Twitch, I don't know. Either way, guys, make sure to check your Prime subs, and even if you're not going to use them on me, and I would love if you did, make sure you use them, period, so they don't go to waste. Also, got to give some shout outs to the sponsor of the tournament. Once again, guys, you're going to see a commercial after this game talking about them a little bit more specifically, a little bit more in depth, but Ting, of course, is a US mobile phone service. There's a lot of cool things about this, guys. The best part is every season, you know, we've had a goal, I think, of like 30 people. If we get 30 people signed up, there'll be another season. You guys want season 5? Then we got to hope 30 people sign up over the course of this season. On top of this, we got a prize pool rocking and rolling. Through the Matcherino page, you can add $1 to the prize pool for free, by the way. It won't cost you anything. If you use the coupon code TINGOPEN, one word, no space, you'll add $1 to the prize pool at no cost to yourself. They've also got some cool rewards on there. If you check out the t-shirts and otherwise, yeah, it's a $20 t-shirt, but guess what, guys? That $20 from the t-shirt 100% goes to the prize pool. Ting's basically just saying, like, hey, if you're gonna donate $20 anyways, you might as well get something for it. So check out all the cool stuff available over there. Oh, and the last thing I should note too is if those SIM cards sell out, I think the goal is 35. If 35 of those SIM cards sell out, Ting is going to be throwing $1,000 on top of the prize pool, adding into whatever else is already there. So a lot of cool stuff that Ting's doing for this, guys, and making this awesome and excellent. All right, now we are in game. Had one last shout out coming in too from Jumpin' Jack Slim. Thank you for that Twitch Prime sub, dude. I love Prime, by the way. I know we just made a joke about hashtag scumbag Twitch, but Prime does a lot of cool things. You get a lot of free loot each month with it. You get commercial-free viewing, which is probably the best part, that we don't get those annoying pre-roll ads. It gives you ad block guilt absolution, because even if you're using ad block, as long as you're in the stream with Twitch Prime, if I run a commercial, it counts as you having seen the commercial. So that quarter of a penny you would have earned me, I still get. Twitch Prime is seriously like saving Twitch. I love it. And of course, Cyrus Mist, thank you for that Prime sub. Possibly the last shout out as these Hellions get in here. Acolyte's a very different map than most, as it does have a unique pocket in base expansion. So for Snute, it's not so dangerous. A lot of Zerg players will take this base as their natural and even leave this one unattended for a very long time in the game. Usually this is their 4th or even their 5th. I think playing against Optimus' style, though, taking this back base first, it makes a lot more sense. Not just from a safe perspective, but for example, there's no drones out here for him to go fry alive. And Optimus' wins in this tournament so far have been pretty dependent on Snute either getting caught off guard by the early cheese or worker harass. So this is a map that he'll definitely, I think, be comfortable getting the 3 bases on, which means if Optimus wants to play mech, he can play mech. And if he's playing mech, then Snute's got to watch out for those Blue Flame Hellions. Also, one of the really annoying things, too, is the fact that there's a lot of open space down here, so a Raven can hang out for a long time. A Liberator may come in at some point. That's why we see the Spore Crawler going in where it is. Before Queens hold the line, like an iconic picture, Hellions should not be able to get past this very easily. And while Snute may be considering creep tumors, hopefully not too much, he does need this transfused energy to be available to him at a moment's notice. Speaking of ravens, by the way, here's this one. Ling's already ready to try and catch the auto turret. Yo, you're shorty adding on to the shout out here for Twitch. Says Twitch Prime comes with free shipping, Netflix-esque video stream service. Yeah, they got Amazon Prime and Twitch, all the Twitch bonuses. It's amazing. Yo, so I just started watching The Tick, actually. I'm only one episode in. Don't spoil the rest of it for me. So far, I think I like the Patrick Warburton version better, but The Tick was not the show I expected Twitch to pick up, or excuse me, Amazon to pick up. So far, though, I like it. Don't get me wrong, it's still good. But yeah, their streaming service is pretty nice. Everyone's kind of got their own thing now. They're all going different directions. Netflix is picking up a bunch of originals. Disney's pulling all of their stuff off the other ones. I think like instead of TV channels, as the future approaches, we're just going to have the various different streaming services. Disney XD versus Amazon Prime versus Netflix. And I'm kind of okay with that. But anyways, more on that later, guys. Auto turrets continue to be very annoying. We got 2 different Ravens set up covering 2 different bases. One thing I really liked about Snute was, about last game, specifically the spine crawlers that came down. I feel like the investment of a drone plus a spine crawler is very expensive, but if it reduces the kill count by enough, it's worthwhile. Optimus, in the meantime, has brought some Cyclones to the front line, a very different addition to the army, but is it going to be a good one? Because the problem is, as we see, unless they're shooting armored units, Cyclones are not actually that fantastic. They do kill one of the queens, which is a good start, but Snute did evacuate all the drones at the same time. Hell about to be a problem, so the Zerglings can't get the surrounds, but that's where these roaches come into play. If Snute can get those roaches out, this is definitely a fight he wants to and might be able to take. But while this 3rd base burns down, he does have a 4th one on deck, so this might still not be so bad if he kills the army. But if Optimus pushes into the main and gets more kills, or if Optimus just simply pulls back out of this hurts Snute in a pretty big way. Let's not forget, Optimus could probably walk away and take the 4th on his way out too. Which he did scout, so he knows it's there. Bring back dark matter, rip dark matter. Yo, I have such a crush on that main chick from that show. I can't remember the name right now for the life of me, but she's beautiful. Alright, drone transfer wanted to go in, saw the Hellions, pulled back, intelligently so. But this is what I was talking about, the damage for Optimus, like, as soon as that base went down, people in chat are typing GG's, and I'm kind of like, why? Yet another base, he's good to go. This could still snowball with things like double Thors on the follow-up for this, but I think with the roaches out, defending what's here, at least, is going to be no problem for Snute. Especially with a ramp favoring him in this sort of situation. Crystal Ball's trying to land, not quite going to hit the mark. We got those Hellbats in the main, though. Snute didn't see that coming, but he pulls the drones quick enough that it shouldn't be too big of a problem. Zerglings will go for that surround. Also, Thranfin. Is that how I see that? By the way, guys, if I ever say any of your sub-names wrong, I am not going to be offended if you tell me how to say your name correctly. I might not be able to do it still, but anyways, thank you, Thranfin, for that prime sub, dude. But yeah, those double Thors going to come in and try and knock down one of the bases. We actually already saw once in the series, I think it was on Abyssal Reef, how fast Thors can tear through a hatchery if left uncontested. So you can knock them down very quick. If Optimus has Snute completely distracted down to the south, he may not be looking up here, and new bases may get picked off, whether it's the ones at the 3rd or the 5th. But he pushes into that 4th base. Scan goes down to reveal that it was okay to do so. Thors land. They could actually kill the Spore Crawler. There we go, securing his exit a little bit more comfortably. Cyclones, however, while good against roaches in the early game, not good against a lot of roaches. And not any good against Ravagers, frankly. But speaking of Ravagers, they get focused down by the Thors, so some nice pickoffs out of Optimus, and then still another base you can totally kill. I'm really mad Thors don't use their big guns for a lot of things. Kind of stupid. Now they flex them out to shoot one air unit at a time. Anyways, Optimus is doing okay in army supply, and he's getting some good harass guys, but he's still pretty far from winning the game. Snute 4 bases, 70 drones. None of this has really been hardcore lasting damage. Not to mention, Snute got to Hive Tech. I think this is one of the most dangerous points of the game for Zerg, is when they are on that transition to Hive Tech. Getting there is usually the hardest part. Once you're there, it's not so bad. So again, like, Optimus is getting some really good harass. He's driving Snute probably crazy dealing with all this harass. But look at the income graph, guys. Like, even with pulling these drones away, Snute's way ahead. And he's got no problem making money. The problem is whether he has the proper units, I think. A lot of tanks are going to require a lot of blinding clouds. These Thors are still not been dealt with yet either, so this is a problem. best bet's trying to pick off the medevacs. That's why the Spore Crawler comes back down. But yeah, tanks and Vikings. I mean, Optimus has actually got a pretty sweet combo here. He knows Snute's going to be looking towards air units. Whether it's through Broodlords or whether it's through Vipers, irrelevant for now. Because again, everything Optimus has on the ground is good enough to cover his air. And his air will cover his ground, ideally. This is a pretty good setup he's got going for him. It's a lot of Hellions though, a lot of Blue Flame. This should guard against the Hydras and the Zerglings. A lot of the Ravagers fell off. Catches those Thors in the medevacs though. Oh crap, that's not good for Optimus. Those Thors are going to help snipe out those Vipers, and they're going to soak a lot of hits with their armor. That being said though, where are those Vipers at? Okay, he's got, what, just 2? Excuse me, I'm trying to click on them. There we go. Alright, that's not many Blinding Clouds. But it might just be enough to force the engagement. If he gets the back line of them, he goes around the outside of the Vikings. He will actually get end up ducked instead of a second Blinding Cloud. Snute's funneling into a lot of splash though, and this is going to start getting really out of hand. Vikings land to be some cannon fodder for the tanks. He really wants to break this tank line, but in doing so gives away a lot of Hydras. He's so close to doing it. He doesn't quite go into the dead zone of the tanks, but 2 tanks remain, and Snute is going to break Optimus. Optimus traded out so much though, and while there's been more auto turrets to deny this base, some more mining. Snute's got this one down here to the south though, so I don't think he's sweating it too hard. This was an amazing hold from Snute, because Optimus gave away a lot of units that take forever to rebuild, and I'm thinking more on the Vikings more than I am even on the tanks. That being said, Snute's not really equipped to go for the counterattack. Any amount of tanks paired with like a single planetary fortress can't really be, like, these Hydras can't tear it down. So Hellion's gonna be running by, they'll see the Hydras moving out. This may make Optimus even more paranoid about his own defense. But I'm loving these Hellion run-bys, guys. There's nothing more volatile. I don't even think Widowmine, like, Blue Flame Hellions are the worst thing to leave in your mineral line. They can fully clean it up. You get some good Widowmine hits, it still doesn't kill everything, but Blue Flame Hellions totally can. So Snute has to be very, very serious with the way he deals with these. The downside for a lot of this too is by having creep spread kind of cut out from the middle of the map, he doesn't have that vision to see these coming. But this is what I like. Spine Crawl is coming into play. Although, from a player who enjoys doing Hellion run-bys himself, not at all at Optimus's game level, it's worth noting, guys, even if you have like 8 Spine Crawlers, 8 Hellions come in and transform into Hellbats in the Spine Crawler's range, the Hellbats can still win against the Spine Crawlers. It's the extra element of a Hydralisk or 2 that really changes that up. But okay, Spine Crawlers down and good to go. This base, not going to be a problem. Maybe these ones will be harassed. I kind of would like to see a Spine Crawler come down just to help offset this Raven, but yo, this Raven's also on 1 health, so maybe he just finally kills it. 17 kills on it is not too shabby. Workers killed this game. I didn't realize Snute's not killed a single SCV. That's actually crazy to fathom. But those Hellions are dealt with pretty quickly. One's on the right side, also going to be dealt with. There's plenty of Hydras as well as Spines waiting. Optimus may just be like playing into Snute's plans here, of Snute just saying, please come step into my net. Because he keeps catching these Hellions. But yeah, as creep spread gets better through the map, he's going to eventually, hopefully, get this gap covered. And he'll see all angles of attack for Hellion run-bys. Be able to respond a lot more easily. Optimus is though pushing with that 3-3. This army though is mostly tanks and Vikings. Almost no Hellions to complement. This does concern me. But 24 tanks, guys, is a hell of a lot of tanks. And even if only half of these get sieged up, it's still going to be plenty in terms of damage. Snute doesn't have those swarm hosts like last time. He doesn't have a whole wave of locusts. What he does have though is broodlords. However, there's still so few that the Vikings might snipe them. This is where it gets really interesting. He can choose to blinding cloud the tanks, maybe take some engagements. I think if he parasitic bombs the Vikings, takes those out of the equation, I love this choice out of Snute. Then the Broodlords will be what kills the tanks. So a lot of these Vikings splashing each other down. Parasitic bombs in the sky are dangerous, and Optimus is forced to fully retreat. Hydralisks and Broodlords. Hydra's getting a little ahead of the Broodlords, but with the anti-air going down, Snute has the upper hand, without a doubt. This was so many tanks. Yeah, this was so many tanks. What we're seeing though is like the danger of this many tanks without that Blue Flame Hellion coverage, like those swarm hosts, excuse me, forget the swarm hosts, those broodlords, the broodlings, nothing to wash them off. Hydras will protect against these Vikings too, so they can't even advance forward. The attack up here is scouted thanks to that creep spread, so quickly responding, granted with Zerglings, might not be the best response though. And while all of this went on, guys, gotta give some big shouts to the Poopy Troopa. You guys have some great names on Twitch, I gotta say. Poopy Troopa, thank you for that Prime sub. Welcome aboard. Yo, that puts us at a grand total of 1,061 subscribers. Considering we were barely at 960 just a week ago, that feels fan-fucking-tastic. Thank you guys so very much. And of course, as long as this game may or may not draw out, the reminder is this is still the final game of the second best of 5 of the day. We got 5 best of 5s in total, so we're not even halfway done yet. Another one coming in from Blood Blight. More Twitch Prime action. Thank you guys so very, very much. Spores and Spines and Static Defense on the ground. Broodlord's still going to come in. More Blinding Clouds, not Parasitic Bombs. Might be a mistake, I'm not sure. But if you can take out the tanks before the Blinding Clouds wear off, then it's fine to lose those Broodlords. Hydras will eventually win out on the ground because he can reinforce a lot better than the Thors. But this pure Thor army's working. Broodlord's getting sniped off. There's just not enough. Snoot's being pushed back. His army support's falling in such a bad way. I don't know, guys. This was such a tough call. I think the Blinding Clouds were fine, but the Parasitic Bombs may have been better. The Vikings cleaning up the sky. The Thors would have accomplished the same goal. Keep in mind, Thors have the same... Oh my god, these subs coming. Thors have the same range as a Broodlord, and they deal bonus damage to armored units. This is looking pretty grim for Snute. This went from being like him destroying Optimus's army to being suddenly behind in an embarrassingly bad way. And this is gonna be tough to hold. I don't know that he can. He just doesn't have the army supply. Optimus is somehow pumping out Thors en masse. Thors are units that are not normally getting away with this much damage. But granted, a lot of them are very low on the front line. Maybe you abduct 1 or 2 at a time. You just grab those into the Hydras. But Snoot's losing Hydras. Oh my god. This is where, like, by the way, you're legitimately not mana muling. You just gotta, like, mule to repair those Thors or something, man. Maybe pull an SCV. No, there's the tap out. Ladies and gentlemen, Optimus takes the series 3-2 over Snoots. Sending Snute to the losers match where he'll play a ZvT versus Bly coming up next. Winners match is going to be TVP Optimus versus Hearthstone. And this was not the outcome I expected at all. But I love the unexpected too. Let's get those sub shoutouts rolling. Oh, we got some bits coming in from Diet Soda. Thank you so much. He says, just ace cheer. Spams the ace cheers. I like it. I like to see those cheers, dude. But we had Sequence hit us up with a Prime sub. Garrus82 hit us up with a Prime sub. Oat Scottman. Beep, pop, pop, beat up, beep, 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 pop, beat up, beep. Thank you for that Prime sub. I think I got Blood Blight, and Poopy Troopa as well. Just double shout outs to be safe. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. I hope you are enjoying the show so far. We are going to go to a small word from our sponsors because, again, without these guys, this tournament would not exist. So if you're not interested, if you're not living in the United States, this doesn't apply to you. Take about 5 or 6 minutes because that's about how long it's going to take to play these ads. And then we'll get into the next series of Snute versus Bly. So one last shout out to Sonic Pineapple. Not quite pineapple, but Pineapple. And we'll see you guys in a bit. We'll let Ting tell you about themselves with a quick TLDR. They're a full service available for United States residents only. They benefit people who are on Wi-Fi all the time. They're very upfront about this too. They're not desperate for your business. They only want to help you if you would actually benefit by using them. So again, if you're somebody who's around Wi-Fi, you don't call every day, but you text a bunch, like it's a pay what you use system. I'm actually going to play the commercial specifically about rates, so you guys will see what I mean. But Ting phone bills can be really low. And even if you're not in the United States, but you're planning to go to the United States for like a weekend, pick up a SIM card. Here's the laundry list, right? Pick up a SIM card, $5. Maybe use like between $10 and $15 worth of data / phoning / texting while you're there for the week. Yo, for me, roaming is $7 a day straight up. So it is so much cheaper to use Ting. But anyways, guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, sit tight. I'll let them tell you about it. And we'll see you in a few with the losers match when we get back.